Hi, Phil.
Hey, 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 how are you? How are you?
Hello,
Happy Wednesday.
everyone. Hello,
Happy
everyone.
Wednesday, y'all.
Oh,
David Peterson,
man.
Christopher Barrett. Oh, we got our homies. Got our homies in place. Um, how you doing?
I'm good, honey. How are you?
I am okay, man. There's a lot of stuff going down. A lot of
What?
stuff going down. It
Yeah,
is
well,
exciting.
let me
Very
see.
exciting.
We got time. What's going down, Phil?
Oh no, we got a lot of time. We can explore all that. Well, I have to say a couple thank yous to out there, and I'm going to do a couple videos later on to thank people. One is Bosch Legacy is finishing this season. It is their final season. I know a lot of people
Oh,
are very
wow.
upset about it. They love
Yeah.
that character, Harry Bosch, and the other characters that surround it. Just it's a wonderful show. Michael Connelly's done an incredible job with the novel's first stop with him and the Lincoln Lawyer, and that series
Mm.
is incredible as well. And then all of the production people that are involved with Bosch Legacy are fantastic people, and they really care, and they're very
Mm.
mindful of their property that they have inherited from Michael Connolly and Titus Welliver, Madison Lintz, and Mimi Rogers, and the whole crew over there that does such an amazing job. I'm just so thankful that they allowed me to be a small part of their journey, and I was in quite a bit of season one um, to kind of kick off Bosch Legacy, which was the spinoff from Bosch on
Mm-hmm.
Amazon Prime. And so I just have to give them a huge shout out because they're wrapping up, and I see the posts from people. They're so sad that it's
Mm.
going bye bye.
Mm.
But if you're sad about it, that means they did a hell of a job. And sometimes let them miss you a little bit. And I've been a part of a couple of shows that ended just at the right time. Seinfeld ended just at the right time. I felt
Yeah. Yeah.
another season would have been one a bridge too far, as they
Mm.
say.
Mm.
And then my other thank you, shout out, gratitude shout is to the Upshaws. The Upshaws are finishing their run for their
Yeah.
series run, and I mean I couldn't work with better people. Funnier, creative, inventive,
Lovely
forces
crew.
of
Lovely group of
nature
people.
from Mike
Mm-hmm.
Epps and Wanda Sykes to Kim Fields and all the players, Kaylee and Jermel, and it just Leonard and Micah Estime, and it's just so many people there. All the writers, but especially Lance Crowther, and Dino Shorte, and Regina Hicks, certainly Wanda, Aaron Jackson. So many people that worked on that show that are just fantastic. Rusty Coleman was our stage manager, and he kept that shit tight, man. He
Oh,
kept it
Rusty
tight
A,
and
number
going
one
forward.
Oh
Hmm.
my God. I mean, AD,
You
first
know,
AD. He's
big
amazing.
time. Dealing with big personalities,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of energy in the room. People walk in the room and they just suck the oxygen right out the room. You know what I mean? It's like Wanda Sykes walks in, it's like, and Mike Epps comes in. These are people that you have to deal with in a certain way, with a certain delicacy and nuance, and Rusty does it, man. And I'm very thankful for
Yeah,
everybody that's on that show, and hope they go on to more success.
I'm sure they will. They're all so talented. And we just want to say hey to everybody. Hey there, everyone on YouTube. Hey there, Facebook. Hey there, Instagram. So glad to have you all. And
Mm.
Instagram, I think this is the first time matter of fact, I know it as I finally got us. So we're not like so askew. Can't wave at you guys, but know that we're waving. I just got to keep saying that every week for any new people. So you're like, why? Why doesn't she wave back? Because you're on my backside. That's why. But so glad to have you all here. And you've worked on some great shows, Phil. I had an opportunity to shadow on the Upshaws the last week of their show. So their closing series, the close of their series, I was there, and man, what a great group of people. It's wonderful when writers and the producers are happy and the actors are happy when the crew is gracious and they're happy and friendly and they just love the show. So that's
Oh yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. It's sad
and
when
they find
shows
it
go.
funny
Oh
even.
yeah, and they're laughing. That's right. That's right.
Hmm.
That's right. And they're laughing and yucking it up. And you guys, when I was on there, I couldn't walk more than 10 feet without people saying, "Oh, we love Phil. Phil is so wonderful. He just adds so much to every episode he's in." And that's always nice to hear. I tell him I taught him everything. That's what I
She
tell him,
did.
Phil.
She
Hmm.
did. I don't deny
Hmm.
it. Why would I deny greatness? You know what I mean? Steal from the best. I learned my lessons well. No, I no. That's why I actually I had them have Iona Shadow so that they could say all those wonderful things about me. It was a complete setup.
Had nothing to do with me directing. And you guys, when you're shadowing on a show, usually you're shadowing so that the powers that be, can watch you and talk to you and get to know you. And then they can invite you to come and direct an episode. I can't direct an episode because that was the last episode. So, but they'll go on to other things and they'll
Hmm.
remember me.
Hmm.
And that'll be lovely. Yes, it
Well,
was
how was
good.
your week?
Well, I had something really cool happen. I had a vision made possible. So how I'm always telling you guys, and Phil and I both are, set your intention. Set your intention. Say what you want, literally, and be very specific about what you want. It may happen, it may not, but I had a may happens. So there's this, you guys, I'm a director, and I had a great stint on Blackish, and I have not gotten my second television or film directing gig, and I am beating down doors and running around, but a lot in the industry because of the strike and because of COVID. It's changed, adjusted. That's all right. It's coming. I recently gone and saw some theater and went, man, I love theater. I want to get back to directing theater. And then a friend of mine emailed me something, and she was working at um, she's working at this theater. God, all of a sudden, I can't even believe the theater just went out of my friggin' mind.
The Green Court.
That's it. Thank you. Went out of my mind. Green Court Theater, and it's right here on
I listen. I
Fairfax.
listen well.
Thank you, honey. And it's right here on Fairfax Boulevard in Los Angeles. Really cool theater. I'll let you know when the show's coming. So I said, "Oh man, I want to work there." A week later, I get an email from the artistic director asking my availability for a play he has, and I'm the director for it. And I read that play, and it is wonderful. It's called Greenwood 1964. And for you history buffs, or for those of you who may have been alive back then, it's when Harry Belafonte and Sidney Poitier went down to Mississippi with $60,000 to give to SNCC and other voting registration uh, companies that were trying to get black people voting. And instead of anyone meeting them at the airport, the Klan showed up. And this is the story of what happened to them. And it is written so well. Love the writer. It's so good. It's a three-character play with a woman coming in playing Fannie Lou Hamer. And that's so I'm just real excited about it. We preview on June 6th, we open June 7th, and I'll make sure to put out information. And so that's been my week, reading the play and going to the theater and seeing the theater is just beautiful. It's a large space. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
So,
So
so you remember
that's
what
my
we were
week.
saying about Iona teaching me everything I knew? That's kind of how she got there. Yeah. She was kind of on the stage from the very beginning and was
Oh yeah.
holding it down here for a long time before she then moved to New York for a minute and then came back here. And so it's good to see that she's being given these opportunities to direct again in the place that she really loves.
Yeah, and if anyone's from Green Quarters can see this, I'm so sorry that I went up like a light. But sometimes that happens when you do that. But I'm really excited about it, and so that's kind of been my week, getting my all of my getting designers ready to be met with and stage manager to meet with them. So it's
Hmm.
been good. How about you, baby doll?
Good. Good. Well, like I said, thanking the people that I worked with in those jobs have gone, and I've done so much great work recently. And I'm not currently working on anything, and it's not a, I don't want to say relief because you don't want to jinx yourself, and then you're like, oh, I didn't work for another year. Um, but I'm in reflection right now. I'm in reflection on the journey and the path, and I'm
Mm.
proud. I'm proud of how it's gone. I'm proud of
Mm.
how it's life has served itself up for me, and really supported my decisions and my choices, and that's all we can ask for, you know. And we are going to make mistakes. We're going to stumble. We're going to get it wrong at times, especially if we're fervent about what we're trying to do and where we're trying to go and how we're trying to live our lives, right? You live it with a certain
Mhm.
risk. You live it with a certain margin for error, and if you mitigate too much of that, if you play too firmly within those lines, color too firmly within the lines, you really don't get a chance to explore. And
What's
as I can
outside of
tell you,
those lines, huh?
I do my fair share of exploring life, and it bites you sometimes, but it's well worth it. And and as I look back, and which I have been recently, because I've had the time to look back at it. You know, when you're in it, you're just working. You're going from one thing to the next thing to the next thing to the next thing, and that's the thing, right?
Mhm.
When you get a chance to
Mhm.
breathe and you go, whew, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
hmm
Take stock for a
And I'm
moment.
grateful that I can be in that
Mhm.
place because I haven't always been in that place.
Mhm.
And we certainly aren't always in that place. So, yeah, I've been reflecting on the journey. Very grateful for it.
Awesome. Awesome. I want to bring here Soul Singer who's telling us, everybody, thank you all for the prayers for my brother Tony. He's doing much better. Yay. Praise God. Grateful for the love and support. Glad to be back with the Vision family. Much love to all. That is so friggin' great, Soul Singer. So happy to hear that. And yeah, you know, last week everybody was hitting you up with all kinds of love you, man. We really want to
Mm-hmm.
see your brother get better, and so happy for that.
That is
Annette,
great news.
great news. Annette, who's always bringing something to us. I'd like to share some exciting news. I'm moving back to my hometown on Friday, secured a cute apartment with utilities included, and start my new job as a registration clerk at the local hospital. Annette, that's awesome.
Bringing it
Awesome.
to amazing pieces of news.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so incredible. I mean that really is a tonic to hear that y'all are winning. You know,
Mm-hmm.
that you're checking boxes and you're counting your wins, and you know we do a lot of revealing here, and some of it is tough. I mean, we're growing, we're challenging ourselves to grow and really face some things. It's nice to hear um, the light come through from the decisions you guys
Yes.
are making and the things that are happening for you. It is beautiful.
So much so.
um, Sagana, I want to Sandra Rosa, thank you. I've read your all your posts, and I get it. I get it. I know it's hard to understand our English. We don't understand Portuguese if you are from Brazil, um, but we do our best, and we certainly honor your love for us and for me. I really appreciate that. Thank you, thank you. We ain't going nowhere. We're still going to be here doing stuff. So a lot more to come.
So sweet.
Yeah.
So sweet. So hey, darling, let's
Yes, my
get to
dear.
our topic tonight about which is around communication, um, truth, um, grace, and standing up for oneself. Uh, um, this thought comes to me. I'm gonna actually jump in on myself before and tell you. I was mentioning this to Phil earlier. There are a lot of things going on in our world right now, especially in our country of America, and it gets to be very hard and trying, as we've said before. And sometimes coming to a show like ours, even for me doing it, all I want to do sometimes is spew how upset I am and to talk about that. And that does not serve. The reason why I say it doesn't serve anything is because what I can really have control over is me and mine. That's what I know I have control over. And you really want to get specific, only me. And so I wanted to still say that to kind of just release that of all the energy of what we see on television, on the news these days, because we're here to inspire. Because no matter what's going on out there, we all still have to get up in the morning, put one foot in front of the other, and live and breathe and be successful as best we can. And that's what we want to do, is to inspire that in you. And in turn, doing that, you inspire that in us. So I just kind of wanted to, for myself, release that to be here with what we're talking about right now.
Iona and I talked about what we're going to speak about just the day that we're going to talk about it because we want it to be fresh. You know what I mean? Unless this is somebody that we're interviewing, somebody who's on the show who's not she and I, then we want to do our due diligence and learn as much as we can about our guests. But for the purposes of our conversation and the way this all started was pretty much off the cuff and to be as fresh and in the moment and present as possible. So Iona and I were speaking today, and we were talking about a couple of not problems, challenges that we're going through in our own lives, personal lives, family lives, and we came upon a couple of things. One is yes, the world is in a very difficult place, and Iona and I struggle with how we couch these things because we want to respect everyone. We want we want you to know that even though we do have agendas, we have our points of view and our opinions. We have very little judgment, if any. And so we know the world is a tricky place and everybody has their point of view. So we take pains not to insult anybody's point of view and anybody's right
Yes.
to feel the way that they feel. We still feel, however, how we feel, and objectively, the way she and I feel is that we are looking for answers to these problems. We're looking for ways around them as opposed to continuing to beat them into the ground and to hold up the mirror of like, look, see what they're doing to us. So, part of what I wanted to get to this evening is that moment where if you're going through a personal situation or if you're going through situations systemically, societally, where you just feel like you can't go on, where you've reached the end, or you feel that you've reached the end, that it's darkest before the dawn, right? You're at that low point. You just don't think you can move forward. And how beautiful it was that the show was started by Annette and Soul Singer counting their wins, their victories.
Mm.
They're getting through their dark times, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So this is, part of our discussion is how do we make it through? What coping skills do we need to acquire for us to meet the moment when the moment seems too big for us?
Mm.
When it indeed feels like God has given me more than I can handle. What then do you do? How do you proceed? Iona mentioned it before. She's really, the truth be told, I think, to use her words, she can only look out for her. She can only save herself, as we talked about last week. And for me, and then I'll stop my little talk here, my little ramble, it's in taking the emotion out of the situation, cooling your mind off so it doesn't overwhelm you. If the situation is overwhelming, your mind does you no favors by leading
Mm.
by leaning into that overwhelm. By saying, "Oh, watch out! Oh my goodness, it's so terrible!" By giving you all the most horrible things that the situation could potentially bring you. The mind's job is to keep you safe, but sometimes it keeps you safe by slapping you around, by telling you how bad it's going to be, by telling you what you should fear, what you should look out for, as opposed to what you should look for, how you could go through it. And to do that, you have to calm the mind. So you have to calm those emotions. You have to be less emotional and try the best that you can to look at it with a jaundiced, sober acceptance of your own truth.
Isn't that something, how the human mind will go to a negative place a higher percentage of time than to a supportive place of the person it exists in? This is the crazy. I wonder. I wonder what that is about the human race. I should say for Western culture. I'm not going to speak for. I can't speak for other cultures, but we do that so often. And if we can just switch our brains, even through feeling negative in the moment or upset about something, just Nothing else changes in your environment except what you think about it. It makes a world of difference, a complete difference. It makes a world of difference in how people even feel your vibe when all you've done is just changed how you think about something. Mm, mm. You know, I feel that when this email came to me, I felt that I had switched my thinking, you guys, because I was like, oh man, okay, let me devise a plan on how I can reach more producers or production companies within Hollywood, so that I can get more interviews and I can start getting more work. And when I switched to it, wait a minute, Iona, don't just narrow yourself. You also have directed theater, and I know you've pulled away for several years because I'm looking to go to for television work. But the moment I switched my thinking was the moment I got that email. And I just what I've seen in my life and how I've lived it, when I change my thinking and I don't do it with, oh, woe is me. Well, okay, I'll do theater. No, it was like, oh shit, I love theater. Let me open up my mind. Boom, there's an email. Or boom, I run into someone. It never fails me for that to happen. The only time it does fail me is if, like, when I was younger, we're always drama queens when we're younger. I think that's the point of that life. And then you come from a negative place and you can't get anything to happen. But this time it's okay. Let me switch over here. Let me switch my thinking. Just open myself up, not to let go of, but just open myself up. Let me see here, Cygnus.
Wait, I got this. I know
You,
what you're
you
saying.
got that
I hear
because
you
I
and I see that and I gotta see it all.
okay. Do you
Um,
want you want me to put
uh,
it up? Do you want to read it, Phil?
I got it here. I can't see it
Okay.
really well that you put it. I see it here, but I mean, you're right. Change, change your thinking. Change your being.
Mm-hmm.
Change your grounded being. Change your makeup. Hardest thing to do. Hardest thing to do. When you're really trying to change, when you're really trying to change, you're really tired of it. You can't take it anymore. This is what we're talking about. We're not talking about easy times right now. We're talking about when it's too tough. When you can't go forward. When you're in quicksand. You can't put one foot in front of the other. What do you do? So that's what we're talking about. Signet is saying,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you are loving people. Well, I believe in God. May God bless you always. I've been watching Phil through the pandemic. I know it's not the subject, but it's been tough on all of us. I'm not saying this in a derogatory sense, but times have been tough.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what we're talking about.
Yes.
It's exactly what
Yes.
we're talking about. So I'm going to say some stuff. So, yeah, everybody goes through things, right? You hear about the wins that Ione and I have and some of the wonderful things. And yes, we do get very transparent about the journey that we're on personally. And we're all on one. We all have things that we're dealing with. So we're dealing with things ourselves in my life. And and I don't know if I discussed this last week or not. I cannot remember, quite honestly. And if I didn't, then it bears repeating. Um, Ione and I and my family have been through some stuff. Been through some stuff. Lost people. Our parents are no longer alive, which I guess makes us technically orphans. I don't know how that works,
Mm-hmm.
but I think technically that's the term. Um, our father, who was this incredible shining star, had a very difficult exit from this mortal coil. Um, our mother less so, but she had her own challenges, and as a family, we've been tested, truly tested. And as you see, we're here together. That we are. The name of our show is The Vision is Possible. The name of our show isn't See How Fucked Up Things Are. The name of our show is The Vision is Possible. Excuse my French, but we're making a point here. Um, and ultimately, with all the things that I'm going through and all the things that the people around me are going through, quite frankly, more than me directly, it's indirect. It's all the concern I have for those around me. I realize that my journey is absolutely perfect. There's a reason. There's a reason why I was challenged in those times of my life. There's a reason why I was put upon. There's a reason why I was given the strength to get through those things. I didn't want those things. They weren't things I chose, but they were things that happened.
Mm-hmm.
And so for me, I had no choice but to step up and work my way through it, not around it, not over it, not under it, but through it, so that we could be healthy as a family and we could go forward together. in this journey that's so amazing and beautiful. So that's what I say to you guys. As difficult as your journeys have been, know that they are for a reason. Know that they're there to
Right.
train you and to toughen you for the difficult times that are to come. You don't have to train the easy parts. It's easy for a reason. Easy. You ain't got to do anything for it. I say it all the time. That's why it's called easy. But the hard stuff is what you're being trained for. The hard stuff is yours uniquely. It is your hard. I have mine. Iona has hers. The people around us have theirs. You have yours. And it doesn't matter that you don't know anybody. I don't know anybody else who's been in this. I can't relate. Nobody can relate to this. So let's say that's true, which is probably not true because everybody's been through something. Somebody's been through something
Mm-hmm.
similar or worse than you've been through. Let's say that's true though. So this is you. This is you.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you an example. Let let's say that a buddy of mine and I are in a Humvee and we both get into an IED incident in Afghanistan. Shit blows up. We both have irreparable damage psychologically. We live. We're in a support group. We're both going to have different PTSD. We're not going to have the same, even though the experience is the same.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to have my trauma. He's going to have his. He's got to carry his water. I got to carry mine. That's the way this goes. Even if you get agreement, which if you need it, please find it. You're the one who's going to have to make decisions in your life. They can't make those decisions for you. You got to step up. You're always going to be the one who has to step up. No matter what
Always.
advice you take, no matter who you listen to, no matter how it's being doled out to you, it can be the most amazing, most direct connection to your Lord and Savior or the universal truth or whatever you want to call it. But you know who's got to walk it? You do. They're walking their walk, celestial being and all. Nothing and no one can walk your walk. So what are you going to do? You're going to lament the whole time? You're going to struggle the whole time on this walk? Is always going to be a burden? Aren't you tired of that?
It's
I
all
am.
individual, man. It's our. I like to call it our stew of life. And what are you putting into your life? What's coming into your life? It's always meant for you. We can complain about that heartbreak. We can complain about that bad thing that happened, that mean person that I met, or some mistake at the job, or I got fired. All of that, I believe. I always say, no matter what, this has to be for my highest good, whatever it is. This has to turn into something that creates a more positive aspect of my life. And it always does. If we spend time lamenting what has happened to us or wishing it hasn't happened, we will miss the blessing from that incident. And trust me, I don't wish ill on anyone. I could share some shit I've been through that I don't wish on anybody. But, I know that I wouldn't be the person I am today if I didn't have those experiences. Like just what you said, Phil, we don't learn from the easy stuff. We learn from the stuff that was hard. That's what we learn from. We learn from all of that. And if you don't learn from it, you're doomed to repeat it. So my suggestion is learn, figure it out. Sometimes you don't know why something has happened in the moment, and it may take time. But whatever you do, think about how can you move forward. Cry your little tears, because sometimes things make you cry. Have an ice cream fit of a day. Have a day or two, whatever it is that you need to go through it, and then come out on the other side. Even if you haven't made a clear understanding about why that happened to you. Why me? Why me? I've wasted just a few seconds right there thinking about why me. Okay, so this has happened. So what can I do to make it better for me, to move forward in my life? That's the strongest thing we can do, and it's the only thing we have control over. And remember, there's nobody who can make you mad. There's nobody who can make you do anything. It's how you take it all in. How does it come to you? K9 is adding, my personal situation in my life has given me the gift of more empathy. I think I was born empathetic. I know it's not something that you want to really divulge to us, K9, but what we do know is that you've had your challenges, you've had your maladies, and for you to come out on the other side and to say that is powerful. That gives you more control. Quentin.
Yeah. I totally agree with K9. And K9 and I sat, and so I understand a little bit of his journey. And he's right. I mean, that he's able to convert that into empathy is a gift. It's a gift because what he had been faced with and is extraordinary. So I'm very happy for him that he's on that side of it. I want to speak to something Soul Singer said. He says, feeling like giving up? Hold on. Replace fear with faith. Your breakthrough is closer than you think. God is in control. Even when you can't see the way, keep believing miracles still happen. Here's what I'll say to that. If miracles are what you're about, keep making them happen. And don't wait for God to do them for you. Do them for yourself. Yeah, okay. Well, can we control everything? No. But life's not about control. Life's about living. You leave control up to people like God or the universal truth. It's not up to us to control. It's up to us to live it. If it's a gift, live the life that God gave you. Live the life that the universal truth is giving you. And it's not a miracle. It's a straight reality. The universe, God wants us to win. It's not miraculous at all. It is just. It is truthful. It is honest. It's organic. As things are organic and authentic, miracles happen. If that's what we want to call them, then that's where they come from. And we shouldn't make them so unbelievable. We should make them as a part of our daily routine. This conversation is a miracle. You guys responding is a miracle. What I told you about my revelation about the difficulties in my life is a miracle. All those things are a miracle. The challenges that we have. There's a reason why, and I didn't tell Iona this, but I've been thinking about this for good reason. She'll understand why. There's a reason why Detroit Red went to prison and became Malcolm X.
That's right.
There's a reason why Gandhi didn't really get taken seriously until he was arrested.
That's right.
There's a reason why Martin Luther King Jr. wrote letters from a Macon County jail in jail. There's a reason why the Apostle Paul, I'll go all the way back to the Bible, did his greatest biblical writings while in chains. Because these people had to be there to get it. Now that isn't easy. That isn't from ease. Can we learn from ease? Sure, you should relish joy. You should be grateful. You should be gracious. But the real good lessons, the tougher lessons, come from the toughest experiences. And the greatest among us have had the toughest of experiences leveled on them to come up with the beauty and the genius and the enlightenment that we all honor.
With
so
Mandela,
if they had to go through it.
Right,
Mandela became Mandela and
he became president.
Come on now.
Would that have happened?
Became president.
Jail. That's right.
Just saying. So when you look at yourself, you're like, oh, woe is me, oh my goodness, this is that and this and the third and whatever. Know that it's your thing, man. Convert it, like Iona says, convert it to gold. I own a lot of gold. It's in her name. So she's trying to convert all these things to gold. Gold is gold, and she ain't got to convert nothing. But it's the lead, the coal. It's that other stuff that you have to alchemistically turn into the gold in your life. It's not gold that you can hold on to. It's gold that you should be about. So
make lemons out of lemonade. Kelly has something here. She's asking us both. Do either of you have any suggestions on how to get clarity when you don't know what to do in a situation?
I do.
That's very general, but yes. Go ahead, and I'll come in after you.
There's certain things we do in our lives that show us truth, right? Kelly, I don't know what you do. I don't know if you play sports or if you're collect things. I don't know. But there's something that we all do that holds a certain love, passion, peace, truth. When I get to places in my life where that truth is less available, it's not as quantitative, it's more conceptual, you know, I try to feel if the
Mm.
truth that I have been training in all these other places exists in this area. And if it doesn't, then it's not truthful. And if it's not truthful, then I have a certain way to deal with it. If I feel it and I'm the one who's having a problem, but it is truthful, I have a different way of dealing with it. You know, either way, the best way is to calm the mind and see what really is going on, and then be
Mhm.
honest about the situation and
Mhm.
don't will it away, because that's when we get confused. We just don't want it to be that way. I've been that way. I've been like a little kid. I just like want to get into a corner. It's just like, just don't want it to be this way. Mommy, don't die. Daddy, don't die. You know what I mean? You just don't want it to be that way, but it's that way. And when you accept that, when you go through those emotions, right? We just said, take the emotion out of it. So if you have to go through the emotion, you got to grieve. Grieving doesn't come just when someone dies. It comes when a situation is so hard, it's
Mm.
too difficult to bear. You know, you have grief, you have PTSD from a situation that's built up, all those things. When you look at it
Mhm.
clearly and you don't judge it and you give it its truth, answers will come.
That's beautiful, Phil. I agree with what Phil said. And I'll tell you, I want to go back. You said on how to get clarity when you don't know what to do in a situation. I ask myself questions and I'm honest with myself with the answers. Because oftentimes we know what to do, it just may be hard to do, or we feel like someone's going to be upset with us if we do that. First, you got to figure out without any that's good or that's bad, any sort of judgment, what is it that you want to do? Be honest with yourself as to what is going on in whatever the situation is. Just be honest. Don't make a judgment on anyone. Sit down and look at it and be honest. And then be honest with yourself about what you would do. And once you get those pieces of the puzzle, which are very important pieces of the puzzle, now you can take a breath and figure out what you need to do. But if we stay in our emotions, like Phil talks about, I so agree with that. Oh, I don't want this to happen. How can I? Upset with yourself or upset with the thems, whoever they are, upset of what's happening. You can't think clearly. So you do have to take a breath, take a moment, and just sit quietly and really look at everything from an objective point of view. Come with what is it that you really do want to do, and go from there. I'll give you an example. A girlfriend of mine is her husband has passed away, and she's going to have the celebration of life here in Los Angeles. He's from New York, and he has all of this family in New York, and people want her to film it or they want to Zoom. She knows that's not something her husband wanted to do. So I asked her, "Would your husband want to do this?" She said, "No." There's the answer. The challenge is in telling everyone back home that that's what he wants. The challenge is because you're worried about what they're thinking. But if you're telling the truth, and we oftentimes got to put on our big boy and our big girl pants, you got to tell them, I'm not going to be recording. I'm not going to Zoom. That's not what he would have wanted. And I said, send them a program with a lovely note of love and hope that they can come. They'll have to understand because that's what he needed. It's not easy on her, but I'll tell you, it gave her a lot of lighter feeling after she came to what the truth was. And that's the main thing. And that's communication back with yourself, even. We're not just talking about communication with others, but communicating with you. What's the truth? You in a room, don't nobody know what you're thinking but you. And that's what we need to
So
learn.
the question arises, how do you know if you're clear of it? With all the work, how do you know? We used to have a thing with a workshop I used to do, and people would say, "Yeah, well, I'm clear. I got it. I understand. And then you'd continue to talk, and they would get upset about something. Something would trigger them, right? And you say, well, if you're so clear about this, how come you're so still upset? Why are you? If you have clarity, there should be no anger.
You ain't
There should
clear
be
yet.
no residual emotion. So just do a self diagnosis. You know, go through the checks and see if in fact you're still tied to your whatever emotion was running you. And
Mm-hmm.
if you are, then you still have work to do. And that's okay, because that's all this life is, people,
Mm.
is work. The every day is training. You know, it's not conscious training, but we train in every day. We train in joy, we train in pain, we train in sorrow, we're training. I'm training. I'm training. I'll bring it to me. I'm trying to get this. I'm working at it.
Right. And you don't, it's not, it's not something that, boom, I got, some things are like, yeah, I got the answer. And some things take time. And you got to give yourself grace for it to take however long it's going to take till you can come up with an answer that you feel good about. Is that cool, Kelly? What we were saying? Let us know, baby. Kolsch asked, do you think we are put here to fight against suffering or endure it? No. If I fight against suffering, I'm going to continue suffering. Now, if I understand what I'm suffering about and I decide I don't want to be suffering and I figure out how I'm not going to be suffered, then I'm in such a much better place. And that's the part of hurting, heartbreak. If you stay, to me, I'll use just me, if I stay in that space, then I'm not going to be able to get past it. But if I can be honest with myself why something is happening, and hey, sometimes it takes time to get through something. It takes as long as it takes. No one gets to say, get over it. No, no one gets to say that. I don't think we're here to suffer. I believe we're here to be happy. I believe we're here to love, make love, to share love with other people, to help other people, to be a guide in any way possible, to be a bright light in our lives, to enjoy it and be happy. But there is suffering in the world. So it's about how we're going to handle it. You're going to sit in it or you're going to get out of it. Because, like we just talked about a few minutes ago, all of that is learning. You go home, your teacher says, we're going to have a test tomorrow. Oh, man, you're up all night. You're learning. You're reading the book again, or maybe for the first time. You're taking notes. You show up the next day for the test. You're nervous as hell. You do the test. You've gone through all this suffering, but you get whatever grade you're going to get, and hopefully you'll get a good grade. And if you did, you did the right way of studying. And if you didn't, you got to change how you study. I believe this life is about polishing our spirits, elevating our consciousness, understanding more about ourselves and each other. And sometimes that comes after hurt, pain, loss, grief, a number of things before we get there. And each and every one of us are here to grow, expand who we are. Why he laughing
Amen.
at me?
Amen, my
Why he
sister.
laugh at me?
It was just the way you ended it. And it was just like, that's right. No, I thought it was great. No, I do not think, again, right, the yin yang, Iona is the yin, I'm the yang. Um, no, I don't think we're put here to suffer. I don't think there's a real, I think Iona's right. We're here to grow. I think everything is here to grow. If you look at everything, that's the interconnectivity of it all. We all are, everything grows, grass grows, plant grows, trees grow. It's a fertile world. That's why we're on the third rock from the sun, you know? It is our charge to be the organism that we are supposed to be, and that is ever growing, ever evolving until we then grow old and decay and die. I mean, it's just the cycle of life as we've known it. I don't think we're put here to suffer. I think, as they say in the Hindu sect, the samsara, the cycle of life and death, is unalterable. But it's the way that we choose to live it that is alterable. It's that how we are living our lives. Life itself is not hell, but the way we choose to live it can be. Why is life not hell? Because life has no conscience. It just is life. It is here to grow or to purge or to do whatever. It doesn't respond to nice or not nice. It just is. We respond to that. We give that breath. So who do you choose to be? That's why life isn't hell, but the way we live it sometimes is. Because we're choosing those things. We're seeing it in that way. And I'm not saying that K9 is wrong, that we don't see it in that way. I'm not saying that we are not taught to see it that way. But we are charged with seeing it the way it actually is, my opinion. I'm charged with seeing it the way it actually is. That's my challenge. I'm imperfect. I cannot see it. I don't have that vision, right? I'm not that clear. I'm clear to a degree. And then there's a point where my vision is not possible. I cannot see past it. And so my work is to try to extend that further and further so that my vision as I get older becomes greater. My information becomes wiser. My take on the world becomes more nuanced and more mature. That's the growth that Iona's talking about. That's the growth that we organically, I feel, are given. And our conscience sometimes belies it. We make it so complex. We throw so many things on top of it. Our value system is so skewed. Part of the problem in the government, this value system is all about money and monetization, and who owes us and where they haven't paid us, and getting back at people they feel they've wronged them. It's a very difficult reality. But I don't feel that the world itself, the universe itself, works like that. It works on a bit of a merit system. You water a plant, each plant is different, right? So you can't give this plant more water than you can give this plant. You have to know, but the key to growing the plant is feeding and watering it. So we're all not fed and watered the same, but the key to living is feeding and watering. So sometimes it's just like that, man. And sometimes you're giving yourself food vis-a-vis information, and it's like, I got to turn that off, get off that social media, you know. Or it's you're not getting enough. I'm not getting enough love, not getting enough wholesomeness, spiritual nutrients, and so it's a balance until we die. It's a balance,
It
and it's
really
up to
is.
us.
Every moment, every day, we're growing and evolving. And I want to share something, you guys, and all of you had something to do with this. Jeannie says, I became director of a small town library. It wasn't because of my it wasn't easy because of my toxic former director. You all helped me a lot. I want to bring it up so everybody can see it. With positive vibes. You can start a new career at 62. Thank you. Woo-hoo-hoo, Jeannie. Awesome. Awesome. So many important things in that, you guys. Positive vibes. You can start a new career at 62, young pups out there. And also, what I think is the most important thing is she said it wasn't easy because of my toxic former director. What's wonderful about that is Jeannie didn't shy away. She didn't quit what was a dream for her to go to another job. She stuck it out. I know you did whatever you could to move forward, and you kept those positive vibes. And look at that. She's in. And hopefully that toxic director who was out will take a moment to look at what transpired and take responsibility for what they had done. Because if they can take responsibility, then what happens to them is that firing becomes their blessing and gift so that it's better later on for them. You never know what's going to happen. I got fired when I was 21 years old. I was working at a radio station, rock and roll radio station, KHJ, if any of you are familiar in LA. And we got a new program director. I met him, nice guy, talked to him about our jobs. He said our jobs were secure and everything was fine and lovely. And then one day, the music director and myself, I was her assistant, we were called to the office and he fired us. I was livid, 21 years old, just starting out in life. And I had words for him. I went back in there when I left his office to tell him, shame, shame on you. How dare, I didn't curse at all. I just, yes, how terrible. I was in all of my feelings about that. You told me X, Y, and Z, and now you fire me. But because I was fired from that job, but I was still in radio, I went to another radio station. And it was at that radio station where I answered the phones, where people start saying, who's the girl on the phone? She's got a great voice. From that, I took voiceover classes, and then I started my voiceover career. I could have been angry at the way the man treated me and gotten out of the business completely. I don't know when I would have ever experienced being a voiceover talent. But I didn't let that stop me. And that's one thing I love about that, Jeannie, that you said you didn't let that crap stop you. You stayed focused on what you wanted, and that's wonderful. Annette talking about what she's doing. Take all these things, and Kelly, I'm going to use you as an example again, baby. I love that you guys share with us. Take all these things, honey, and trust you. Trust yourself. And sit down. Take a moment. Ask yourself some questions, and let clarity come. We can't think our way out of stuff a lot of times. We have to really present everything and then deduce where it leaves us. I'm tired.
I'm with it. Recognize your power. You know, Jeannie, toxic environment, toxic director.
Mm-hmm.
You got to know there were times she didn't feel like she could go on.
Of course.
You
Right.
have to know
Right.
she met herself at a certain place and said, not me, not on my watch. And she overcame. Exactly what this whole episode tonight's about. When you meet a moment that you just cannot go on, you don't feel you can, yet you do. And when you do, the universe provides, God provides, the doors fly open. My mind, the doors are always open. It's just for us to walk through them. But Jeannie stood up, you know, and that's kind of the nature of what we're talking about tonight. I don't need to know how she did it. She needs to know, so that she can use it again. And that's true faith, knowing that you did it. And each one of you has been faced with something very difficult, and you made it through. So have faith that you will do it again. The universe gave that to you so you can use it as armor or a weapon, depending on how it needs to be expressed, to answer the questions the next time. It's training. It's what we're about. It's our growth. It's just not always the way society tells us. It's not always the golden rule. People don't always have your best interests at heart. No, you don't need to do any of this. It doesn't have to be anything. Nothing happens just because. You know? We can say, oh, you know, you have to do this. You don't have to do any of it. It's always going to be this way. No, it's not. We're running a full-on running improvisation here. Every day is a new day. There's nothing promised to us. There's nothing guaranteed in this. You can believe that if you want. And that'll hold you in good stead until it doesn't. Until you need to reach for something else. Something deeper than, oh, what a nice day. 1 + 1 = 2. No, that's what this show's about. To me, that's what we're about here. It's about parsing the things that are difficult to talk about, difficult to feel, difficult to get through, and making them less difficult, making them more bearable, making them possible as opposed to impossible. And that's what I do in my life every day. I'm working at creating the possible. My manager, Chris, as we've talked about before, he says, Phil, we're looking for the yes. You know? And when you live life like that, oh my goodness gracious, is it much more beautiful? I mean, you just wake up dancing, singing. I don't care if you can or can't. It don't matter, because that's just what's going to happen.
Come on.
You know? And that's what we want. That's what we need. That's why I'm here. And yeah, sometimes we go through some tough stuff to get here. But I'm willing to go through it. I ain't scared. I'm ready to go.
That's right.
So,
I want to bring Kelly back in here, our lovely Kelly Belly.
hey, y'all been
Because
doing it. Okay,
she
come
says,
on.
I like the answers to be kind or I resist. I'd like to comment on that, Kelly. Kind? Kelly Welly. You know what? I would like for them to be kind too, but sometimes they are not. And you know what? In sometimes those unkind answers, you may find a jewel of something that you need for growth. Doesn't mean you're going to have dinner with that person. Doesn't mean you're going to have lunch with them. Doesn't mean you're going to like that person, baby. But sometimes those answers are just what we need to hear. I remember I was directing a show many, many years ago, and I was out to dinner with a producer friend of mine, and I was pissed off. And I remember what it was now, but I was pissed off about something they weren't doing, and it was going to create a problem in the production. The producer sat there and listened to me, and then he said to me, Iona, this isn't about you. I was, oh, I was insulted, and I was pissed. And then I realized what he meant. It wasn't my show. It's not mine. I can only do what I can do to help guide them to what I think is a right answer about something at that time. And if they don't get there, it's not about me. I've used that in my life. It's made it so much easier. And then when it is about me, I use what is constructive. You know, in the entertainment business, if you're an actor or director, people are always, the first thing you can expect to hear is no. Or one of the first things you'll get is a note about why you did what you did not work out, or how you can make it better, even though you may have thought you brought your best. Not always does it come kind. Not always does it come with a little bit of sweetness and sugar and love. Sometimes it's just blunt, fact, done, boom, boom, boom. If I wait for everyone who can speak kind to me the way I like it, I know that for me, I wouldn't be able to, I'd be waiting for a long time. Rather than maybe waiting for a kind answer, and wait and get an answer that you can respond to, an answer that you can work with, an answer that's going to help you grow, going to help make something better. It's not always going to be kind, and that's unfortunate. But I promise you, honey, that if you open yourself up more to really listening to what others are saying, number one, you'll get thicker skin, because you being kind to yourself will help you deal with a lot of bullshit that's out there. Because if I wasn't kind to me, I'd be a blithering idiot sometimes. But if you can do that, then you will start being able to hear things more clearly and be able to take what's being given to you in order for it to effectuate a more positive outcome in your life. Kelly, thanks for sharing with us. Don't stop, baby. You want to say something about that, Philly Willie?
Sure. I never expect people to have my ground of being. If I'm kind, I don't expect them to be kind and kind. And to resist the fact that they're not kind is just hurts you. And Kelly, you seem like an incredible person, a
Yes.
very good, open-hearted human being. Just know that that's your truth, and that your truth isn't always within someone else. And we can't expect, because we have a certain ground of being, that other people are going to share that. And when it doesn't match up, sometimes we're disappointed. I guess that's what you mean by resistant. Um, but if you don't expect those things and you just carry it in your heart, and that's just who you are, then you'll just leave the unkindness with others. You'll leave anger and negativity with others. They won't permeate you, if they do. And you say you hate hurting others. That's why I know you're a good person, because you don't. But you shouldn't live your life to not hurt anybody. You need to live your life so that you are fulfilled within your own life, and what happens outside of that isn't kind of our business in a way. We need to make sure that we separate, what we want for ourselves versus what we want other people to be. You know, it's not fair to hold them in a certain place. David Peterson sometimes says sometimes the truth hurts, but that's because sometimes that's the only way we can find the way to succeed. That's interesting that David Peterson would mention that because we're both kung fu practitioners. Man, there's so many times I didn't know the truth of it. So many times I didn't understand what the point of it was because it's not waiting for me to get it. It's been that way for hundreds of years. I'm the one not accepting or understanding. I'm the one who needs more work. I'm the one who needs more chatting, more tuning up. I'm the one who needs to listen more. I'm the one who needs to drop whatever it is that I feel and think in order to accept this truth, and we can feel like we're the best people in the world. Man, I was really strong and fast and agile and a great athlete and everything, and that's great. But you have to apply certain skills to each discipline in the martial arts and in the system that David and I study. It takes more than speed and strength and power, and it takes intelligence and feeling, sensitivity, grounding, structure. Those are things I had, but I didn't know I had them. I had to have them coaxed. I had to have that truth brought to me. I had to have that truth pulled out of me. I did not know it, and it was challenging. It was difficult. It wasn't easy. The best things are most times like that. I won't say always because I don't know. But the best things, I got the highest level of my skill through the hardest work that I did, through the most understanding that I could muster and focus. And David will tell you, those are the greatest lessons when you feel like you're beat to shit, but you learned something through it. It wasn't all the easy stuff you went through and I got this guy and I was better at Chisao than that guy. No, it's when you fucking struggled. Excuse my French. We always say it because we don't know who's listening. But it's when I struggled and I got through the struggle. But I got through it.
Yes.
Sifu couldn't get me through it. My workout partners couldn't get me through it. They're struggling with their own shit. I had to get through it. So, and then this goes back to, how do you answer the things that you don't have answers for? As a result of me practicing all of that for so long and understanding where I was and where I wasn't, when I'm faced with situations that I just can't quantitatively find the answer to, I try to use that sensation, that feeling of truth. Now if it's in there and now I have something I could deal with, man, I really got to look at this. These are the kind of answers I need to utilize. If it's something that's totally not for me, or it's a toxic situation, you're getting different answers for that. But it's based for me on a feeling, a sensation, my intuition. That's very strong. That's the faith that we talk about.
And Kelly, I'll tell you, and you guys, I don't want to hurt anyone either, but I know I have. And sometimes, not sometimes, I have no control how someone's going to take what I'm saying. I say things the best way I can. I can think of a situation right now. I said something the best way I could. I didn't want to hurt their feelings. And still, they got so upset. Well, some of that has to do with what I said, and some of that has to do with what's in their history. So we all do everything we can not to hurt people. And in reality, we have no control how they're going to take what we've just said or done. We have no control. The important thing is to be clean and clear with yourself and to know where you're coming from and to be clear about that and honest. And then chips fall where they may. But you're a beautiful soul, honey. Just a beautiful soul. Oh, boy.
For Philly and Iona, I've been told that the entertainment industry is about thick skin. Is this true? If so, how can we grow thicker skin in our lives? I don't want you guys to mistake this show for a professional therapy session, because we are certainly not professional.
Just human
However,
beings.
I do take your meaning. And the way I would couch that and say, my answer to that, K9, is don't take it all so personally. Just don't take it so personally. Listen, Philip, you're a talented guy. Listen, I love you. You're great. You'll get the next one. You know what I mean? It's kind of like that, right? Yeah, you know what I mean? It's we're so precious about our lives. Of course, they're our lives. They mean a lot to us. They're important. I love my life. I think it's amazing. I think I'm incredible. I think I should get every job I go out on. I do not. Um, and if I did not couch it in that way, if I did not, I just had an audition the other day for comedy. I don't audition for comedies usually because, you know, I'm funny,
Look at my
but
previous work.
um, I'm just saying. But this was one of those ones that I auditioned for, and I was happy to do it. I really like the casting people. Like these casting people have just like hired me for certain things. It's like, Phil, you're going to do so and so. Oh, they want you for so and so. So part of it was me going in there and honoring them. They've been so wonderful to me. I really like them. There's a reason why they called me in. So I want to go and show out, you know. And then a part of it is me. I want to do my thing, man. I want to get in there and have a good time. And I don't get a chance to. Well, I had been working quite a bit, so I lie. But I want to take every opportunity I can that's really good for me. And so this was one of those things. So I go and I do this thing. It's to play. It's to play a poker buddy in a with a thing, and that's cool. I like it. All right, now here's where I'm living right now. I don't feel like Joe Normal. I don't feel like Joe Q, average guy, anywhere in my being at all. And to be kind of one of those dudes in those shows, as you've seen, you have to fit into that kind of texture, right? That fabric. And I wasn't feeling that. I felt perky. I felt excited. I felt energetic. And I watched it, and I watched the audition back, and I really liked it a lot. And I don't think I got it. And I realized one of the reasons I probably didn't get it was because I was popping, man. I was popping. And I thought to myself, they're gonna look at it and go, yeah, this dude's gonna pull focus.
Right.
He's not gonna proceed into the background. All eyes are just gonna go to his knucklehead ass. And I thought to myself, I don't care. I don't care. It's not my job to fit into your little freaking box. I mean, these producers are amazing. It's a great show. I love it. It's not that. It has nothing to do with them. It has to do with me. I'm in a place, man. I got to do my thing. I got to walk away happy in myself. I have to listen to that muse inside of me that is louder and more truthful than anything around me. And I may not get what society says I should or shouldn't get. I'm just not up to that. I'm not trying to live like that. I'm trying to live my truth and come away with a fulfillment and an excitement in my heart. And if they don't want it, then they don't want it. Okay, you know, it's not that's not my job. Is to serve them. My job is to serve my life.
Phil, there's a question that Q wants to ask. Hey, Phil, how many times did you have to audition to get the Jackie Childs role on Seinfeld?
Once, one time, baby.
And that was
Um,
it.
I hit it. You know, it's just sometimes I don't tell you. It's just sometimes it's like it's right. It's the right fit. It's the right voice. It's the right thing.
You're right there in
And
the
that's where
pocket.
Jackie goes. Yeah, wasn't hard
Oh,
at all. It was like breathing.
that's Jackie was waiting for him. I want to share this from our
Truly.
darling Kelly. She says it's so important to see people who are further down the road of self-love, development, what have you. It helps us see that it's possible. That's right, baby. That's why to surround ourselves and seek out those who are in a greater space within themselves than we are. It helps to learn, it helps to guide. It also helps us to know when we talk to them that, oh, they've had fucked up things. You don't have to excuse my French. They've had fucked up things in their lives that have happened to them too. We all have. Every single person has. It's not that you're going to fall, it's how you going to get up. And you get up faster and better each time. So going back
You
to what
hope to.
K9 asked about, what'd you say, honey?
You hope to.
You hope to. Going back, K9 says, are we here to suffer? We aren't here to suffer. We are here to experience things in life that help us grow. And sometimes that is not easy. You know, you take your car to the shop, it's not looking good. you got into a car accident, and they've got to meld, they've got to make and meld everything that's on. They got to the take off the front wheel and re-put it on and bust through the body of it and shine it up and soften it. Smooth it out and then shine it up. And now, if a car had feelings like us, whoo, that would hurt a lot. But when it is done, it's beautiful. It's the same thing with us. We get knocked around. We got to pull off our front end. We got all these things that happen to us. But once we go through it and we're honest with ourselves and we face what is happening, and it's not easy. This life ain't easy, baby. Once we do that, we come out the pretty diamond. We come out the pretty car. In our hearts, we come out feeling better and richer for the experience. Now, thanks, Annette. What you say? Perhaps we're here to help ease the suffering of others. I take that for some of the things. All right. Well, I'm feeling pretty good. How you feeling, Philly Willie?
Good.
Let's go into our final little speeches. I'll go first this time. If my words aren't coming out right, it's because my brain's a little tired. Woo, boy. Final thoughts. That's what these are. Final thoughts to our visionaries. First of all, thanks everyone on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram for joining us tonight. And to all of you who maybe are not here live, but see the program once I upload it. So happy to have you here. Please send your friends, you guys. Tell them, bring a friend, have them subscribe, check us out. Whew. Tonight we talked about, really for me it comes down to trusting yourself. Trusting yourself that no matter what comes at you, you can handle it. You may not handle it all on your own. You may have to reach out to a family member, a friend, someone professional to assist you. But you can handle it. That saying, God doesn't give you more than you can handle. That is the truth. Even if you're losing your mind, oh my God, then maybe it's time to mature, to grow up, to face a situation that's probably been happening in your life in different ways, in different forms, to face it head on and to deal with it so that doesn't happen in your life any longer. You and I both know there are things that you have done something similar with, and wow, you feel so great. You tackled the issue and you feel like you grew. Somehow your spirit got bigger. Somehow your soul feels firmer. Somehow you're walking with more confidence. You're walking a little taller because you faced something. If you trust yourself, that's what you can do. And if you don't trust yourself, find how you can. This life ain't easy. Ain't none of us going to get out of here alive. But we can get out of here stronger than how we came. We can look at certain buttons that are pushed in our lives. And if we finally sit down and think about what that push button is, why does that bother me? Where does it come from? And if you can't figure out where it comes from, just figure out how you can get past it. That makes you stronger. And isn't that what we're here to do? We're here in this world to enjoy, to love, to make happy, to look and use the gifts we've been given. Some of you can sing. Some of you are great as a librarian, a director of a library. Some of you are great at so many other, all of you are great at other things. Everyone has a talent. If it's answering the phones in an office, baby, that is a talent because you're keeping the flow of business coming in and out. You don't have to be a superstar or a star, an actor, a writer, a director, a basketball player, a professional athlete, a politician, your name in lights. You don't need any of that. None of us need any of that to be valuable human beings to ourselves and to the world. So trust you, honor you, know that there has been no mistake in you being born at this time to that family to be here in this world. And I love you madly. I'm going to get Handsome back in here so he can give his final words.
I done said a lot tonight, and hit pretty hard. So I'm just going to end with this. Thank you, everybody who's been so generous with their emotions and their time and sharing with us. And we have a pretty tight group here. We're not reaching millions at this point yet. We're just a very, very tight village. And I really respect everybody who's here and expressing what they're about and what they're going through in life as we do. Just a couple observations. One is I have no idea why we're here. I really don't. And I think it's a bit of folly to try to find out why. I think it's better to choose why you're here. Why are you waiting for some answer that may never happen, may never make sense to you? Why don't you give it the answer that you need it to have? Make life mean what it needs to mean for you so that you're the best human you can be, the best contributor to this planet that you can be. Our compatriot in arms, Soul Singer, is beautiful and is a very God-fearing human being. And I want everybody to know that we want everyone to believe and feel deeply the things that they're about. And we never try to dissuade anybody from how they feel. We may just have a different way to go about it. So when I mention things about the universal truth, it's to include everybody and to include all of their beliefs and feelings. And this is not an hour that is to judge or point fingers at anybody. It's to uplift each one of us, starting with ourselves. And it's very important for me to put that across so that everyone knows that this is a safe space. We want you to bring all of who you are. If you're God-fearing, if you're atheist, whatever you choose in your life that works for you, we want you here. This is a very safe space. It's a very strong society that we're building. When this show blows up, you can say you were there. You can say I was part of the crew who gave this thing life. And isn't that a beautiful thing? So I'm just honored to be here. Those are my words.
Awesome, honey bun. So hey, you guys, send your friends to us. Subscribe. Here's where you can find Philly Willie. There he is again. Here's where you can find him at the Phil Morris. Here's where you can find me. I own a lot of gold. Here's where you can find the show. You can find us here every Wednesday, except, sometimes if we're not, there's still great shows to look at on the YouTube channel. Really glad to have all of you guys here. And have a wonderful week, everyone. We'll see you next week.
Happy birthday, Soul Singer and Brother Tony.
Yeah.
Turning 44.
Aries folks in the house. Love you, Phil.
Much love, everybody. Love you too.
Good night, everyone. Night, Philly.
Bye-bye.